Hey guys, hey, welcome back. Ducks Hockey and more coming at you. It's Sunday. A week of the first round of playoffs has gone by. Most of the teams have played at least 3 games. The fourth games for some series are happening as we speak right now today. But we're going to talk about the Eastern Conference. We're going to talk about the Western Conference. We're going to break down the games a little bit. Not too much, but hey, stick around. All right, so welcome back. Ducks Hockey More is coming at you. It's Sunday, midday, here in the Intermountain West. And there is a game currently going on, but the week that has passed, we've seen a handful of games. Typically, there are about 3 from each series have been completed. Today being the 4th for a lot of teams. And the 4th game for me is a very pivotal game in most series, no matter what. It's just a very pivotal game. So we'll see what happens in today's games and then Monday's games, because today and tomorrow are going to be the 4th game of all these series. So like I said before, pivotal games, they kind of dictate where things are going to go in most cases. So, but let's dive into the Eastern Conference, shall we? Let's start with the Hurricanes and the Islanders. So Carolina and New York Islanders going at it. Carolina's up 2-1 on the Islanders. They're actually playing right now. The last I saw, Carolina was up. But again, that may change. The game is currently ongoing. I have seen a little bit of this series. I've read a lot of issues too. And this is not just with the Carolina-New York Islanders series, but in the playoffs as a general whole, as all of the series so far. The officiating has not been that great. A lot of people are pretty pissed off about it. Calls that are being made that are questionable, non-calls that should have been made that aren't being made, things of that nature. I've always been, the officials have a pretty tough job. And I've always kind of felt that they have a hard job, but the one thing they cannot do is dictate how the game, momentum-wise, ends, all that stuff. They can't do that. They can't do that. They have to make the call that they see on the ice. It has to be clear cut. That was a penalty. Not, or miss it completely. And I mean, there's 2 of them out there. 2 effing referees. I remember the days, it wasn't that long ago, when there was just 1. And that cat missed a lot of stuff because it was just 1 set of eyes watching. And he's watching, they're typically watching the puck constantly. But when you have 2 sets of eyes on either side of the game being played, you should be able to see everything. I don't understand sometimes. I don't believe in the officials making calls that they shouldn't make or missing blatant calls. I mean, I've seen it where in replays, the referee's right there. And it's like, how did you miss that? It was right in front of you, you jackass. I mean, so NHL fans, you know what I'm talking about. Obviously, it's a big deal when the officials start making calls or don't make the calls, and the game changes, the momentum changes, and next thing you know, your team's down a goal or they lost the game or whatever the case may be. It pisses you off. So let's get back into the teams. I do understand that basically the point I'm making is the officials have not been that great this year so far in the playoffs. A lot of complaints. A lot of stuff that where they should be making calls or haven't made the right or made calls that they shouldn't have. But anyways, long story short, Carolina's up on that series 2-1. We'll see what happens in the game that they're playing right now. Again, this is game 4, big game. Carolina wins this game, I think it's over. New York's not going to be able to come back. If New York wins this game and ties the series up, it's on. It's on. You know what I mean? This is going to become a pretty good series. Which is not what I expected. If you watch my previous video about the playoffs, this series was, to me, kind of going to go Carolina's way the whole way. Well, New York, they've been doing a pretty good job. They're hanging in there, and Carolina's getting a handful from New York. So they've definitely, for a first-round series, this has turned out to be a pretty good one. I didn't think it would be that way. So moving on, Boston and the Florida Panthers, okay? The number 1 team in the NHL all year long, the Boston Bruins, are having a tough go at it with the Florida Panthers. Matthew Tkachuk and the Panthers are giving them a run for the money. Boston's up 2-1. They play today, later today. They haven't started yet. And we'll see what happens. Again, this is game 4, pivotal game. Florida could tie the series up, or Boston could just get basically right there, ready to put the hammer down with a 3-1 series lead after today. So we'll see what happens. Big game tonight between those two. So far, it's been a really good series. Devils and Rangers. Okay, I just watched the Devils and Rangers last night play. What a great game it was. Now, something I didn't take into consideration when I was talking about the playoffs and my predictions and that thing, whatnot, a week ago, I had Devils in 7. Well, here it is. This New York's up now 2-1, but they were up 2-0 before last night's game. And I'm thinking to myself, I completely missed the fact that the Devils have a horrible home record. They have a great on the road record. Okay, the Devils are great on the road, but at home they haven't been able to figure it out. And the New York Rangers are stacked. They really are. They've got one of the best goalies in the league. Got a great defense. They've got Patrick Kane, Tarasenko, Zibanejad, Adam Fox. They've got all these great scoring. Lafreniere. I mean, they really are stacked. New Jersey is too, but New Jersey, even though they've had such a great season, they don't have the experience that the New York Rangers have. Okay, plain and simple. Plain and simple. And I just completely spaced when I thought about my predictions about that particular point where, New York stacked and they've got lots of experience and a great goaltender. New Jersey stacked. They've got a lot of really good young, scoring forwards, but they don't have the experience. They don't have that. You know what I mean? So that's a big deal. Plus, they've struggled at home. Well, they won their first game last night. It was in overtime. Dougie Hamilton had the game winner. Great game, by the way. Tight game, tight checking game. The goalies played very well. This guy, Schmid, for New Jersey. Dude, where's this guy come from? I think he's like Austrian. Man, he looked really, really good. I mean, here's a guy, first playoff series, first playoff experience. Man, he looked great. So New Jersey's got a winner in that guy if he can keep doing that. He looked really good and shut down the New York Rangers, and New Jersey ended up winning the game in overtime. But listen, I mean, if they don't tie that series up, I think it's tomorrow. If they don't tie that series up and send it back to New Jersey tied to give them, I mean, if New York wins this next game and goes up 3-1, because New Jersey struggles at home so bad, they could just end it in New Jersey. New York, that is. So, yeah, there you go. There's that series in a nutshell. And then let's go to the most exciting series so far in the East, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Here's a rematch of last year's 7-game series that Tampa ended up winning. Well, the Leafs are up 2-1. Couple of embarrassing games there for both teams. Game 1 in Toronto, Lightning smoked them. I mean, it was like 7-3 was the final score. Next game comes along and Toronto shows up after the Leafs fans were ready to throw in the towel. Leafs show up, put up 7 on Tampa, and win that game convincingly. And then, of course, Game 3, first game down in Tampa, goes the Leafs' way, but in overtime this time. So this one was a tighter game. It went into overtime, and it took overtime for them to win. But Toronto's up 2-1. They've got another pivotal game. Again, here's a Game 4 in Tampa. Does Tampa right the ship and get a win so that they go back to Toronto tied up? Or does Toronto win in Tampa, Game 4, and go back home for a potential series clinching win, which is kind of what I think is going to happen. But man, are the Lightning good? They've got that experience to back them up, that winning experience, if you know, and they've got a great goaltender, and they've got guys like Corey Perry, who I love, causing stirring shit up. I love that guy. Okay, I don't care. There are haters. There are Perry haters out there, but Corey Perry is an amazing hockey player. And at his age, he's still doing it, and he's agitating people, and he's getting under people's skin. I mean, you never want to play against Corey Perry. You always want him on your team. He was a long-time Duck, and I hope that someday his number ends up in the rafters in Anaheim. But, man, is he great to have on your team. But that's a great series, guys. You got to tune into the Tampa-Toronto series. What a great series. So we'll see what happens. If Toronto wins this Game 4, it's over. You know, it's over. It's going to go back to Toronto, and I think it's just going to go. But you never know. I mean, this is the playoffs, so who bloody knows? But there's your East. everybody's right now 2-1. Okay, there's no sweeps going on right now. Every team has won a game. It's crazy. Usually there's always that one series where the other team just wipes them out, sweeps them. So none of that yet. Here we go. We're going to go into the Western Conference. Okay, the Western Conference, and we're going to start with the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. Look, they play today. Minnesota's up 2-1. Dallas, it's kind of a interesting series. I haven't really dove into it too much. I'm not that interested in that particular series myself, so I'm not paying a lot of attention to it. But it's been a back and forth series, and Minnesota's got a game up on them, so Dallas has got to win this one. If they're going to stay in it, Dallas has to win. If Minnesota wins this game, again, I think that it's just going to go Minnesota's way. I don't think Dallas is going to be able to come back from 2 games down. They got to win this game 4. Colorado and Seattle. Now, this is an interesting series. Seattle came out of the gates, first ever playoff game, and beat Colorado in Colorado. Seattle, man. Kind of the dark horse, kind of that Cinderella team. I talked about it in my previous playoff video a week ago, and when they came out and won that game 1 in Colorado, I was like, oh man, this changes everything. Well, Colorado so far has answered the bell and won the last 2, so they are up 2-1. So Colorado leads the series. Again, here we go, game 4, and it is tomorrow. Okay, so game 4 is that pivotal game. Is Colorado going to beat Seattle for game 4 in Seattle and come home and just try to take care of business? Or does Seattle win their first playoff game at home and go back to Colorado, series tied up, and then it becomes a 3-game series, best of 3. So we'll see what happens, but what a great battle this is turning out to be. Kraken are putting up a fight. It's fun to watch. It really is. Vegas and the Jets. So Las Vegas and Winnipeg going at it. This is one of those series where I felt like Vegas was just going to continue to roll like they have been pretty much all season long and take care of the Jets. The Jets haven't had, they were struggling there for a bit, and they lost their playoff positioning and dropped into the wild card position. And then they started to pick it up there right at the end of the season to solidify the wild card, and their play has shown as we've gone into the playoffs. They're playing very well. Now, Vegas is up 2-1. They play on Monday, game 4. Here we go again, right? Another series. They're all this way, 2-1. Vegas won in double overtime yesterday on Saturday. Amadio was the hero in that game. Eichel, Jack Eichel's never played in the playoffs. He played for Buffalo for years, right? Buffalo was a dog team, never made the playoffs. Gets traded to Vegas. Here he is in his first ever playoff series. He's got 3 goals in this series so far. So he's having a heck of a first experience getting into the playoffs and whatnot. So, good for him. Again, here we are. Winnipeg, you've got to win game 4 if you're going to make a series out of it. If Vegas pulls off that game 4 win, I think it's over. There's no way Winnipeg's going to come back from that. I just don't think that. You know what I mean? Anything can happen, but I don't think that's going to happen if Vegas can pull off a game 4 win. But very good series, no doubt. Here's the last one in the West, okay? The one I've been trying to kind of watch the most, the Seattle-Colorado series and this series, the Oilers and the Kings, okay? Edmonton and LA. I had Edmonton going into it early on in the season, okay? Edmonton, to me, was the Western Conference representing team going into the Cup final, okay? Out of the West, I felt like it was going to be Edmonton and Colorado battling it out one more time, but Edmonton was going to win it, go to the Cup, okay? They sure looked like going into the playoffs how they were just clicking, okay? That they were going to kind of roll into and take care of LA pretty easily, I thought. Now, LA has put up a fight. They are a very good team, and they have definitely put up a fight. Drew Doughty looks really good on defense for LA. Korpisalo's been playing very well. Connor McDavid was shut down until this last game. Game 3, he had 2 goals. The only 2 goals that Edmonton got in that game 3. They ended up losing in overtime. Now, the Kings, The two wins they have, because that series is 2-1 Kings, right? Both wins have come in overtime. So it's taken overtime for them to beat Edmonton. And so you can see it's very close, okay? Very close. Edmonton, though, is down a game. Game 4's in LA. Again, here we go. Game 4. How pivotal is it? Game 4. If Edmonton loses this game and they go back to Edmonton down 3-1 in the series, I just don't see them coming back. I just don't. I mean, they're going to blow it. Absolutely blow it, because the Kings have been able to shut them down. Now, the last game, Connor McDavid had those 2 goals, right? I think he's got 2 goals and an assist, and he's like a -4 or something like that in the series. So it's not horrible, but it's not great. Draisaitl's doing all right as well, but it's kind of like, okay, Edmonton, you need to figure it out. You need to put it together. Figure it out, man. Figure it out. Skinner needs to stand on his head, and Edmonton Oilers need to just attack the living crap out of Korpisalo and that LA defense and take it to them. They got to win Game 4. Game 4 is today. So we're going to know by the end of today, by the time this video gets to you guys, or maybe by the time you see it, the game will be over. You know what I mean? We'll know. But today's the day. We'll see. So if Edmonton loses tonight, I don't think they're going to be able to come back from being down 2 games. That being said, the Oilers are in that pivotal Game 4. They win, goes back to Edmonton tied up. Okay, they lose. Kings are going to win this series, and everything that I thought was going to happen in this series between these 2 teams goes out the window. So there you go. That's all I got for you right now. There's your series. Every single series is 2-1. Okay, great stuff. So after today or after Monday, okay, tomorrow's games, we're going to have either teams that are up 3-1 or series that are tied, and it's going to now go to a 3-game series, not a 7-game series. So super exciting stuff. The playoffs have been really, really, really exciting to watch so far. Definitely make sure you check it out. Get out there and do it. If your team's in the playoffs, do it, man. Support your team. Watch those games. They are hella fun this year. Lots of close games, lots of overtime stuff. It's really, really exciting stuff. So very, 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 very fun to watch this year so far. So if anything, the round 1 is an indicator of how these playoffs are going to go. This is going to be a great playoffs, 2023. So that being said, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I want to do a real quick, not a plug, but just a hooray. Thank you very much for the fact that Ducks Hockey and More hit 200 subscribers. Okay, just the other day, I hit 200. And in this grand scheme of things, is that a lot? No, of course not. But considering that this channel just got off the ground back in the beginning of October, here we are. I've already got 200 subscribers, and things are moving in the right direction, and it's thanks to you guys. I really appreciate it. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please go do so. It's huge. It helps me out big time. And smash the like button so this video gets out to more and more people. That's going to help Ducks Hockey and More grow. And I need your help to do it. I need to blow it up, and I need your help. So thank you so much for 200. Let's go after the next 100 and keep rolling and keep going. I want to get up there and be one of those channels that everybody likes to tune into. If you like hockey, I want to be one of the guys you're watching. So you got to help me get there. So thank you so much for 200, guys. We will see you on the next one. See ya.